Welcome to another episode of the King's Couch. I'm your host, Sulo King, and today I have two lovely guests, and this is actually a first. Actually, no, wait, I take that back. I've had two guests on one other time before, but today I have the ultimate pleasure of having two new friends on the show that I just met. One of them at Comic-Con, Amy, who's in the top left corner, and her sister have an awesome publishing company together called Monster Candy Publishing, and they produce comic books. And Amy is the writer and creator, and her lovely sister on the bottom, Pwney, as she goes by on the internet, is the artist extraordinaire behind it. So thank you, both of you, for being on the show. It's a pleasure to have you here. I'm excited to get into this and learn a little bit more about you guys. So what I do right off the bat is I like to do a deep dive and go way back to the beginning and find out what your early roots were, early inspirations, a little bit about your childhood growing up, and eventually work our way up to where you guys are today. So take it away. Either one of you can begin.
Sounds good. Early childhood. I mean, like, we've been like storytelling since we were kids, like, right? Amy won the Young Author Award when she was like in elementary school, and we used to make little comic. Uh,
Like with paper and crayons.
oh, sorry, you guys were frozen for me for a second. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. That's cool.
Yeah, we used
and
to like.
Who's the? Is Amy the older one, younger one? Like,
guess,
I can't tell.
Guess.
Both look so
We're gonna
young.
make you guess.
We make everyone guess.
Put me on the spot.
Yeah, poor guy.
I honestly can't tell because you guys have very fair skin and are very young looking, and you're gonna make me blush in about 2 seconds.
It's the lighting. It's the lighting.
It's the lighting.
It's the magic.
And also, I'm so sorry. This is the first time I'm using Zoom, so my settings aren't quite perfect. So
I'm the older one. I'm the older one by 2 years.
Amy's the older one. Yeah. She's the bubblier one. People usually think she's younger because she's super.
What's the age difference?
2 years.
2 years? Okay. Yeah, I have a younger sister who's only 3 years younger. Everyone always thinks she's the older one because she's so motherly, but then again, she's a college professor, so she's.
Oh wow! Of course.
Yes, that intellect.
Do you guys buy into like birth order? Do you really think it shapes your personality?
I think it does a little bit.
A little bit. It depends on the family set.
Because Sulo, you give older brother vibes for sure.
I'm the bratty older brother, 100%.
Bratty older brother. Okay.
I have no shame in admitting that. I terrorized my poor sister growing up in sauna.
Amy.
If you're watching
Amy's laughing.
this episode,
Amy's
I'm
laughing.
so sorry, but I don't regret any of the antics I pulled on you. Maybe some I went a little too far. But either way, I love my sister very much, and I'm very proud of her accomplishments. She's a college professor in sociology and teaches at MSU out in Starkville, Mississippi. So, yeah, she's had a long road to get there and just became a college professor about 4 years ago.
Oh,
congrats to her. Freaking awesome.
It runs in the family, having an interest in humans, like your sister, sociology, and the group of humans, and you individually when it comes to the podcast. And I want to thank you for having us, and the pleasure is all ours. When you were thanking us earlier during the introduction, and your introduction is just immaculate, I would say. That was a beautiful one. I was like, wow, I never felt so like introduced better than anyone here.
It was good. It was good.
It was really good. Thank you, Sulo.
Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah. So like we were talking about your early childhood and early inspiration. So let's pick it up from there.
Sulo, I can't believe you're going to go back to our childhood because Asian parents, let's just say, is deep. It goes really deep. We can talk about just like our upbringing and how it was very, very strict. But we can start from the beginning where our parents are immigrants from Laos, and pretty much it was an imperial system where the ruling family, they were royals, and they oversaw everything in Laos. And until with the changing of politics and communism rose, ideologies differed, and then the royal family was banished. Like a war happened, and the communists took over. And because of the changing tides in the political spectrum, families that were loyal to the royal family, they had their rice paddies taken away, their homes taken away. Unless you converted into communism, it's a disaster for anyone living in that country at the time. And because of that, the U.S. offered Laotians specifically a chance to live in the U.S. So Laotians were allowed to become refugees, but it's up to them to escape if they wanted to have a better life. Or we can't compare like what constitutes a better life, but a better life for them themselves. They are
I mean,
allowed to
our
escape.
parents, they had it so
Yeah.
much rougher than we
They
did.
did. And like back in the day, they were very, very poor. And that's why we're just so grateful. And we are aware of all the privilege that we have, just being born in America and things like that. But back in the day, my mom, like she had so many siblings. And when there was a special celebration to be had, they just went down the street and purchased a bowl of pho. And it's just this beautiful dish of pho. And they all passed it around. They each ate a spoonful of that pho, and they took turns eating that one bowl. And that's how poor they were. So it's just like the little celebrations that they had. They would just go down and just go to the river, jump down the waterfall, swim. It's just everything's in that jumble. Everything's in the tropics, and that's how they were able to enjoy their free time. They didn't have what we have. They don't have television or music the way that we have, but they have their own sort of traditional music with their own traditional flutes. And that's what they listened to and played. But during the war, it got really bad. So what my mom did, I think she was like 16. She was really young, 16, 17, something like that. She had to go escape to Thailand first before she can even fly to America. So she had to go down the Mekong River. And in her attempt to escape through the Mekong River, she was actually stopped by a communist soldier that wanted to shoot her. But all the adults in the boat, they stopped him from shooting her, and they're just like, hey, no, she's just a dumb kid. Just let her go down the boat. It's okay. And the communists didn't shoot her and just let her go. And she was able to cross the border from the river to Thailand. And from there, she was able to survive the camp there because camp conditions aren't, the best. We have some sexism in the camp. So unless you had a man with you, you weren't protected as a woman in the camp, and anything can happen. And the dangers of being a woman without any father figure or anything in that country, and just being alone was a scary thing for our mother. But eventually she was able to have like ally ships there, and was able to fly over in an airplane to California. And then her and my dad, they got together, they had us, and we were both born in Modesto, California. And then we were raised in Rhode Island after. So that's why I liked like Sulo's grit. I don't know why. I know you're raised here in the West Coast, but I was like, you remind me of an East Coast person.
Everybody
So
says that.
yeah. And
Probably
then
because like my mom's business partner is Italian and from New York, and they've been business partners for 20 something years, and all their different ventures together. So I probably picked up a little bit of that swagger from her.
Awesome.
yeah, because Sulo's like real, like how Boston people, you know what I'm saying? Like they tell it how it is.
I love
and
East
they're not very,
Coasters.
Mhm,
We were just
yeah.
talking about how East Coasters are just more blunt. Like they're kind of like mean to your face, and I kind of enjoy that. And what is it like? No, you phrased it a little bit differently. I think that you said that like West Coasters, they tend to be like more polite but less honest. I kind of enjoy the honesty
Oh,
though.
there's white lie. It's just sometimes there's the little white lies, which is okay. We all tell
Yeah,
white lies
everyone does
sometimes.
that.
Yeah.
I'm not really that private of a person. I'm a pretty open book. I'm the definition of what an artist should be, in my opinion.
Hmm.
Like be open, be free. succumb to your insecurities, overcome your insecurities, work on yourself. Every day is a new step in a new direction of your life. And I look at it that way. And I always, my mom thought it was weird when I was a kid, because I started out worked in the music industry since 2000. When I was a kid, my father would, take me to an all ages music venue here in San Diego called Soma. And that changed my life. I saw kids like me, like trying to figure out their paths in lives, just taking out their angst, listening to music, watching bands, watching kids my age form bands, open up for their heroes, throwing their own shows. And I wanted every aspect of that. I was like, this is the coolest fucking thing ever. And by age 22, I was the youngest person in San Diego running a nightclub.
Wow.
As far as like a music venue for live music. And, no one has surpassed that age range yet. And some people took me under their wing. Some people kind of, give me the cold shoulder and be like, who's this little punk kid? Because I used to have colored hair and spiky hair. And, I was a little more rock and roll in that sense, punk rock, whatever, and I looking back, I can't believe that was 23 years ago when I started. I started as a security guard, driving a golf cart in front of a club, because you only had to be 18 to do that job. When I was 20, in 2 years, I started running a club. And, people, ask me, how did I do it? I tell them, never give up on your dreams. And a lot of it is just socializing, networking, who if they believe in you and get a good vibe from you, they're going to give you a chance. But,
But it's up to you to meet that opportunity, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I love about, I'm very drawn to energy. As I've gotten older, I've been able to harness that more and realize that, there's always going to be, good and bad energy. And when I'm around negative energy, I can sense it. I'm like a sponge in that sense, and I'll always put on a smiling face, but if you really get under my skin, I'll tell you how it is, and I'll try not
I respect
to be
that. I like it.
about
I
it,
like
but
that too.
I'm very
No,
firm.
no, I
and I'm
love
very
it.
blunt.
Tell us.
Yes.
Tell us.
But for the
Amy.
most part, I want to entertain the world. That's just how I am. That's what I was born to do. I feel like I was destined to do that. I actually had a comic book idea that I came up with years ago based on our band called the Rock and Roll Justice Council, where we're this band that's endlessly on tour, doing it ourselves. No one really knows how we're financing it. I never got into that backstory because I only wrote a certain amount for it and came up with a concept. But it's kind of like Scooby-Doo adventures. Every city we go through, we'd have to solve these different mysteries. And then
That's cute.
there's this, record, executive chasing us the entire way, trying to, monopolize the entire market. And we're like the freedom fighters. So I had a few like different variant covers that I made that I would shop around Comic-Con, and I was affiliated with a company called Shocker Toys for a while, but I never really materialized, like a lot of things don't. And I just put it back on the shelf, and maybe one day I'll come back to it. And I think I kind of briefly mentioned that to you when I met you at Comic-Con. And I know it's kind of, Comic-Con's overwhelming and you have a million conversations when you're there, so it's hard to retain everything. Yeah. But I love the expressiveness of art. And, I think the most brilliant and beautiful artists are the people that are the most, beautiful, energetic souls, and I definitely felt that about your presence. And it's a pleasure to meet you too, Pwney, and
I can say the same for you too.
Get to know more about you guys. So enough about me.
Pwney is the nicer sister.
I just no.
She's nicer.
I know.
She's really like forgiving, and
we're
so
both nice in different ways. We're both nice.
Everyone thinks she's surly.
Tell someone how it is.
Everyone's just like Pwney is super surly, but it's not. She's
I'm just
like
quieter, I think.
she uses her energy well
That's
when
the
she's
equal
ready.
balance between the two
Yeah.
sisters.
You know what? A lot of people say that. I'm the yin and Amy's the yang.
We
But
just need
I
that.
also wanted to say, Sulo, that the best artists are vulnerable and they are honest. And I think that as a responsibility, all artists have a responsibility to tell the truth. And you you're the right kind of person for that. I that's all I wanted to add after your spiel. That's all.
Yeah, and I like that spiel too. And I think that it's great that you want to mingle music and comics together because the number one selling comic book that broke sales was the
Hmm.
Kiss comic book. Because I think
I did not know
and
that.
then Todd
True.
McFarlane with Spider-Man dethroned it. But it
That's
started with
awesome.
Kiss that broke
Well,
records.
this company I was working for
Mhm.
licensed comic book, um, action figures at first. And I met them when I was throwing after parties back in when I was, running clubs and whatnot. I was like, best way to get my foot in the door in the comic book circuit is to just network and then start throwing after parties. Because Ken, that's how I met him. I met him, Ken Foree, at Comic Con. And the guy that introduced me is now the vice president of Comic Con to him. But he
Wow.
had just started volunteering there. So it goes back to my whole point, follow your heart, follow your dreams, and you never know where life's going to take you. And I'm proud of him at the same time. But going back to my whole point is Metalocalypse is something they picked up, and that was their big break. And that inspired me because, a lot of those metal artists that are featured on the show are molded after real actual musicians that I have booked before and met many times. And I was like, this is the greatest thing. And I was like, you know what? What if there was something a little more universal than that is not just subjected to a certain genre? I was like, what if I just had like a music show, but based on a rock and roll band, because I thought that it would be a good selling point. And then I was like, what if I did that as a marketing ploy for my band
It would work, yeah.
and do something different, because I just saw how crazy these kids were going. And I also met Glenn Danzig one year, and he had his own comic book line, and I saw what he was doing. And then other, bands have done stuff, but
Mhm.
I didn't want to follow in the same like formulas as them. I was like, how can I make this more exciting? And not saying that there's comics aren't great. I'm fans of their work too, but I wanted to, you know, live out a childhood dream. And unfortunately, I haven't done that just yet. But maybe one day I'll get to that. And who
I think
knows? Maybe one day you guys will make my
ah,
dream.
yes. Like, I don't know if you heard of
Someone will be interviewing the three of us.
I know, right? Oh my gosh, that'll be exciting. Have you
That'd
heard
be
of
cool.
Courtney Love's comic,
Oh
Princess
yeah,
Eye
that
by Tokyo
one. I
Pop?
I love that.
I've heard
That's a
some
good,
talk of that before.
Hmm.
Yeah.
yeah. That's the one with the different spin, the
Yeah,
different
I really enjoyed that.
shroom that you're talking about. Yeah.
Hmm.
So it's not like typically like what every other band is doing is just adding some lore and some mythology and bringing like this angel lore into the story.
I
And
was
it's
super
more
into
like,
that.
yeah, manga based, like Asian comics. And to me it was a great story. We grew up on that too. We grew up on a lot of like Viz comics, Tokyo Pop comics, Junji Ito works, and we
Rumiko
like our horror. Yeah,
Takahashi.
Rumiko Takahashi.
Hmm.
A lot of Asian influences, but also American comics as well. And that's part of why I created Monster Candy Publishing, because I just wanted to combine Eastern and Western elements of comics together into this fun, like maybe joyful experience for everyone. And I like bringing comedy into my stories. Like, even if it's a dark horror story, I want to just insert a little dad joke in there because I'm a goofy person and I have that like little, my friends say it's like a golden retriever energy. And they say that I bring that. And I was like, okay, well, I bring that to my stories. And I want you to have that same feeling when you open like a book of mine or when you read it online. And I want to evoke that experience for you that, hey, you can escape from the dreadful work 9 to 5 job and
Oh,
just,
Amy. I'm
enjoy
just
this.
sorry, I'm just laughing because
Yeah.
our work is so different. It is so different. Like, and it's no, like you're right. like we totally get that golden retriever energy from you. And I do experience a lot of joy from reading your comedies. But
That's
like
hard for a sister to admit, by the way.
uh and I just think it's funny, like I'm the black cat to your golden retriever, and my stuff, it doesn't make you feel happy. It makes you feel other stuff. It makes you,
That's good.
I don't know, like I kind of like making people feel like dread or like disgust. I kind of enjoy that. Or just make them feel something very deeply.
Yin and yang, like you said. And
Yeah.
I like that differentiality about you guys. I think that's really cool. And then, but yet you still are able to sync together and put out a product, you know. But I have you, Pwney, have you put out anything on your own, created your own concepts?
Yes, but I'm not really ready to show anything.
Okay. And how
She's
long have you guys
unfinished.
been doing this? When was Monster Candy Publishing founded?
I think I took it seriously with Monster Candy Publishing like 4 years ago, and then
Okay.
just started the whole comic convention circuit before the pandemic. And then I wanted our first convention to be, I think it was like a little, yeah, I would say 4 years ago. And then because of the pandemic, we couldn't do anything on the convention scene. And then San Diego Comic Con was slowly trying to expand on the idea and create a Comic-Con special edition. And then that's when we first started, joining the conventions and doing WonderCon, Anime Expo, things like that. But I think for us, it all started with Comic-Con special edition and just being there in San Diego. But we were there as attendees. So we've been going to conventions for such a long time. But it wasn't until like 4 years ago that we started taking this seriously and trying to share Monster Candy Publishing with the entire world, and build on the art team and build on our stories and just keep creating and making more. And then just doing Kickstarters just to crowd fund stories that we don't really see and where we think that there may be interest in that market, especially those that miss the whole like magical girl Sailor Moon era that was so popular, but now it's being bought back. But I wanted it bought back with just like the eyes of just like, an Asian American. Of course, there's a little talk of like what constitutes as an Asian American, or is that really just like a politics sort of term, and it's not, or just really Asians and just not like there's this whole debate like amongst the Asian American community or Asian community in the US. But I would say that just my experience, I do feel, very like American and Asian. And I actually did a panel this past SDCC, that we met. I did a panel about Asian Americans in comics and media. And
Oh,
I
that was
also,
the one you were telling me about, the one with
yeah.
Jackie Dallas and
Oh,
uh
oh, Jackie Dallas was just at her booth though, but she didn't get to
oh, I thought she was on the panel with you.
no, Lilani Shu, she's supposed to be part of the panel. It was actually supposed to be Lilani, who's the actress in Star Wars, and she's the first speaking
She the one that
Jawa.
I met too?
I don't think. Oh, I think yes, that's her. You
Yeah.
did meet her, yes. She's a lovely person. She was the one that actually asked me to join the panel because what's going on with the strike with SAG. Their actresses are unable to do any panels without permission from the organization
That's a
itself.
shame.
Yeah, unless they get some sort of like waiver that they're allowed to do anything or continue with a movie or finish shooting something, or speak at a panel or anything like that. They have to ask first. But Milani wasn't allowed to be in the panel, so she asked me to fill in for her, which is
That's
really
what's
nice of her.
crazy about
Yeah.
this year's Comic Con was so like a throwback to how it was in the
Mhm.
90s when I was a kid going, because about a month ago, once SAG joined WAG, like all the panels
Mhm.
like pulled out, all the production companies, like anything really film, TV related, was just gone. So it was filled with nothing but like graphic novels, comic book artists, and you know, people that weren't like SAG members, and a
Mhm.
lot of voice actors. I noticed. Uh, some people praised it and really loved it, and some people complained about it. Me, I'm to be honest, I can only really do like maybe 1 or 2 days at most, unless I have a booth there. You know, because I just it it's in my backyard and I go every single year, you know. And I don't know, maybe it's just it becomes a little monotonous after a while for me, but I love the people that I meet. Like how I met you, for example, you know, and I love just checking out all the different art. This year was a little more stripped down. So I found it a nice change of pace. You know what I mean? I didn't get to spend a whole lot of time there. I only went 1 day, and my goal was to hang out with Ken because I haven't seen him in about 4 years since he was last down in San Diego for Comic Con. Um, but that's the beauty part about, you know, like what I do, and when I go out, when I meet people, you know, I always hand out business cards or I get their business cards. I like to keep in touch with somebody. You know, I always have this motto that I've been saying for years in the business: any connection is a good connection, because you never know where that connection can lead you. And it's, you know, true. You never know. I mean, Ken said, hey, you know, I'm going to go meet up with somebody. I can't remember the gentleman's name that,
Jeff. Yeah, it's Jeff.
yeah. Yeah. And then he's like, we're going to go stop by one booth and then we're out of here. And I'm so glad that he did, because now we're sitting here today and
Mm.
learning all about each other. And you know, I want to hear more about your both of you, your artistry, and how you guys work together, and you know the different projects that you guys are doing, and what you guys have in store for the future. You know, so let's talk a little more about um how you guys decided to start the company. How about that?
Okay.
Well, it was more Amy's jam, but go ahead.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So pretty much like our love for our let's start from the beginning actually, because we grew up on these comics, right? Like this was our escape. This was
Hmm.
everything to us because we had such strict
We were
upbringings.
very sheltered, super
Yeah,
sheltered.
we were super sheltered to the
Hmm.
point where sometimes our parents would give us a bunch of books and just leave us in a room and just call it a day, and that's it. And then all we had were
I
those
loved it
books.
though. Like it wasn't a punishment. I freaking loved it. I
Yeah, I
wouldn't
wish
trade it for anything.
we ended up enjoying it
Yeah.
actually. And then we were actually very loud, rambunctious kids that just like running around, going wild, being free. But because of that, we became more introverted because we were so used to that lifestyle where we were just stuck indoors sometimes, and then we just read. So we didn't have much socialization skills at all. We
Books
are
were our
very
friends.
awkward. Yes, the characters, the written word, those were real to us.
Hmm.
Those were friends because we weren't allowed to go to any parties or visit any friends' places, or even sleepovers were so hard to convince our parents to let us do. So because of that, these characters in our head, like we just imagine scenarios on what these characters would do. And sometimes like when I was feeling sad, or, you know, I was going through some troubling times as a kid, I would just imagine myself talking to a Power Ranger and then just thinking, hey, they're gonna be there and I can talk
You
about
never
all my
told me
problems.
this.
I did. I would, and we actually shared a bedroom
We
too.
did.
Like, yeah, there are a lot of things where we did not get a lot of privacy and boundaries. And
Hmm.
now as adults, like, it's just us trying to adapt and be a little bit better and trying to voice whenever we have any issues or just be better at communicating. It was such a long process to get to where we are now. And I'm not saying we're perfect human beings, but I think we're at a
I mean, I
point
think that
where
everyone struggles with
we can voice it.
boundaries and
Yeah.
like adulting.
Yeah. So because of everything that we went through when we were younger, we still had that ache in our heart where we wanted to create and just bring these characters alive, or bring these scenarios in our head alive. And, you know, maybe we can touch the lives of other kids that were stuck in a room and that they didn't have any friends and they just wanted to read books. And, you know, maybe they can get to a point of acceptance like, hey, these stories are great and these are the heroes and they got through this hurdle, and maybe I can get through that in real life, and then maybe I can be this well-functioning adult in the future. And I just want to inspire that hope for, kids everywhere, teenagers everywhere, young adults, everyone onward that, want to read these stories. And then that's where Monster Candy Publishing began. We just wanted to keep creating, and sometimes these gatekeepers, they don't want our stories, and that's where we come in, and we bring these stories to everyone's eyes ourselves. And that's the impact that I want to create in this world. So I understand like everything you've been saying. I feel you on that. I was like, that's me too. Let's do it. Let's bring it, and just, bring this joy to everyone around us. So that's where it began. Thank you for asking that. That's a good question.
That was a very beautiful way of saying that. And that's exactly what this whole show's purpose is, to motivate and inspire others. And, everyone watching, my message is always, follow your hopes and dreams. Don't sit there living your life and regret, like maybe I should have, or I could have done that with my life. Go out and do it. Even the gym that I'm a member at, I'm drawn to it because if every walk of life is walked through there, whether people have mental handicapped issues or physically handicapped issues, I've seen them in there, and you don't typically see that in a gym setting. And then all
That's
the coaches and the staff are, the CEO, he started mopping the floors when he first joined the gym, back in the 2000s. And then he took a dying franchise and saved it and rebranded it. And it's another inspirational story. And, hopefully one day I'll be able to nail him down and get him on the show. But, I love stories like that. I love environments like that. We should be always open to everyone. And I wish that the world wasn't so full of anger and hurt out there,
Yeah.
I feel one of the most beautiful signs I saw was on the Comedy Store in La Jolla, and I passed by it every day on the way to work. And it says, this is during the pandemic, what the world needs right now is more laughter. And I thought that was a beautiful thing. And I remember watching the movie Patch Adams when I was a kid, and I was like, you know what? Like, that's so true. Like, laughter and, music and energy like that is just healing. And entertainment, it's healing. It's what we need. Like, how good did you feel when you were a kid picking up those comic books or graphic novels and just going into that place, or, imagining in your mind these different scenes? Like,
The
I
Chronicles
was
of Narnia.
Like
Yeah.
we're all growing up with these characters. It's a good feeling.
drawing and creating stories myself too, just like you guys. And that's what I love, that we have that common interest right there.
And I think that connects us. Yeah. It intertwines us whenever we
Yeah.
have these moments. And I feel like it's an easy way to connect with other people, like just sharing these common interests, like with music, and how you love metal, you love rap, things like that. And you see that spark in someone's eyes when they're like, I like the same thing. Or if you have some obscure musician or an indie musician that no one's heard of before, or maybe someone French, like we listen to some like really cool French music sometimes, but it's just
a little bit of everything.
in Dahlia. Yeah. Like a little of everything, right?
Spotify is always on shuffle. You never know what you're going to get. Like, people, especially when I go on road trips with friends and I've never really been, in my car and exposed my Spotify playlist, that it blows their minds. And then I'll turn them on to like new music. You know what I mean? But I just think it's like I said, a beautiful form of energy. And it's so healing. Even at work, I have a device that's like a listening device. And in one ear, it stimulates your vagus nerve. It sends a non-invasive electrical signal into it. And in both ears, you can also have the option of listening to music. So I always use like clinically tested playlists, not like white noise and just different frequencies, but like healing, relaxing sounds. And it's interesting, seeing how people like react to it, just come out like they can be stressed out of their mind and come out in this very
cool.
tranquil state, and just it's beautiful that I get to do that for a living and still have music with I don't know if you told Pwney what I do for a living, but I work as a health and wellness coach for a living.
Oh, yes. Okay. That's cool. And that's the tool you use.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's one of the things that I do. I
Mhm.
delve in like nutrition and lifestyle counseling, basically. So, I'm a certified life coach, nutritionist. I do, uh, neurotherapy type treatments like neurofeedback and vagus nerve stimulation and all kinds of interesting things. And I try to make health fun. So I take the principles that I've been given, the talents that I already had, and practical skills, and I apply that into a different type of setting. You know,
Like this is what we also learned too when Pwney and I we visited St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital in
Mhm.
Tennessee, and we got to get a grand tour of the facilities and just meet some of the amazing like folks that work there and just hear their stories of what the children have been through and everything, and even hear the stories of one of the survivors. It was just beautiful and how important these facilities are for health and wellness and just having music therapy, art therapy, and they have a whole like center
It's a
devoted
fantastic
just
org.
it's fantastic where it doesn't even feel like a hospital for these kids, and it just feels like a place where they can go heal, and that's the important thing. That's the mission, just making sure that these kids know that this is a safe place and that they can go, they can color, they have everything set up. It's just so nice. It feels like a school. It feels like this is a place to meet friends, a camp even.
Mhm.
And that's what was so
high school.
important. It was, yeah, it was beautiful. Like Sulo, it just reminded me of like everything that everyone does, like playing the guitar just to pass the time. And like one of the kids that she had cancer and then she was able to have her cancer in remission. She started volunteering her time and then started eventually working there at St. Jude.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and then she would just play the guitar and just like entertain the kids with her sister. And it's just an amazing experience for everyone just to have everyone continually coming back. Like this place really like helped them heal. And they're like, well, you helped me heal, so I'm gonna bring that energy back to help others heal. So it was just such a nice sicklier moment of
What is
just
the name of
like
this place?
St. Jude.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
Yeah.
So it was it's an organization based in
Amy and I are ambassadors. We've both raised a lot of money with our communities. So
yeah, the credit
yeah,
goes
that's
to them. The credit
it.
goes to everyone
It's
that like
it's really like
helped.
our communities that like came together to
Yeah.
like raise a lot of money for this hospital. So that's why we went to go visit.
Talk
So
about
Yeah.
that, later on,
Mhm.
because that's something that interests me. I love fundraising. I actually do uh, a toy drive every year.
oh,
I We work with a church in an area called Barrio Logan. It's kind of by downtown, like where Comic Con is. And on Three Kings Celebration Day this year, which is first Friday of January, I want to say, we got to portray the Three Kings and give out all the gifts that with the money that we raise. So what we do in a nutshell is we fundraise money. We did our first actual event because it's only a third year we did it, and we raise as much money as possible. Then we physically go out and buy toys, and we have like our own web show called Sellout TV. And so there's one episode the first year we did it during the pandemic, and that's how we conceived the idea because my drummer said, "Hey, there's so many families losing their jobs. People are going to have bad Christmases. I want to do something about it. We should do something about it." So we did. So this year, this 2022 was our biggest year yet. We raised almost $5,000 and flooded this church with toys. I mean, they were in tears. They didn't know what to do with themselves and
Oh,
invited
that's
us to come back, three of us, and give out toys to the underprivileged kids in the area. And I invited my guitar player son, who actually had his like quinceañera ceremony there in the church, which was really ironic. When he found out that church, he's like, "You remember this church?" I was like, "Yeah." When my drummer first told me which church he had picked, I couldn't believe it. It was just that right there was, I took that as a sign. And yeah, anyways, I love fundraising. So, anything I can do to help anybody out, and especially when it comes to giving back. Definitely count me in.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
It's an amazing organization. It's based in Memphis, Tennessee, and none of the families have to pay a dime. Like, if their children's impacted by cancer, these families, they don't have to pay for room, boarding, food, travel expenses, anything. The St. Jude Children's Research Hospital organization takes care of this. It's because it's a nonprofit. Everything raised by like individuals outside this organization really helps uplift the whole organization overall. So they do a lot. They do a lot for these kids as well. And these kids, when they come back and they give such beautiful speeches. And thank you, and thank you for the work that you do, Sulo, with the toys mean a lot because Pwney and I, we're one of those kids. We grew up really
We
poor.
were pretty poor,
Yeah.
and we were actually one of those kids that did go to we got some free toy like handouts. One of my sister calls him my Woody because I still have him. I think it was a church that gave us some toys. Was that what it was? I still have him. I don't go anywhere without him. So thank you, Sulo. I like thank thank you. And I thank people like you for doing that. That means so much.
Amon has him to this
I still
day.
have him. He's on my shelf. He's on my shelf
Yeah,
back there. I still have
Moosey.
him.
She calls him
Moosey.
Moosey.
He's
Yeah.
my comfort
By
stuffed
the way,
animal.
how did you get the nickname Pwney?
I really I really liked horses. I really liked
I
horses
think you have
growing
a
up.
beautiful name. I like that
Amon,
name.
thank
Yeah,
you.
I think it's
Thank you
cute.
so much.
It's
Uh
Sorry to
so
make you blush over there.
So it's my sister's fault. It's my sister's fault that I have this nickname. Amy, explain the story. Bratty older
so
sister, explain.
so
Oh, yeah.
yes, I am the bratty older sister
Yeah.
because okay,
Bratty older siblings to another bratty older sibling.
sometimes us Asians we have complicated names. Sometimes our last name
Yeah,
will be mispronounced like
all the time.
Linsamouth
That's
instead of
okay.
Linsamouth. And because we're socially awkward and we're very shy kids, we never corrected any of our teachers that mispronounced our names. So the one teacher mispronounced Pony's name and then she pronounced the name as Amone, like just a moaning noise,
And I was
Amone.
just like, whatever, close
And
enough.
then my
Close
sister
enough.
never corrected her. And then all her classmates
I was
started
very
calling her
shy. I was
Amone.
a very shy child, and I
No
grew up
one
into a shy
corrected,
adult.
no one corrected any of the kids or the
My
teacher.
mom didn't correct the
So
kids. She's just like, close
she's like,
enough.
okay.
And I
She's
was
like,
just
close
like,
enough,
close
Amone.
enough. Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's
I
fine.
started making fun of her as the bratty
I'm
older
Amoni the
sister.
pony.
Amone the
Yeah.
pony. Ha, ha,
I
ha.
really liked horses, and my sister dubbed me Amoni the pony. So now I'm Pony.
I'm such a jerk.
Yeah. It's
I'm so
okay. It's
mean.
fine. I think it's funny now.
You guys live close by to each other in LA?
Uh,
Well, a
like
little bit,
kind of.
but not like I think she's like 40 minutes
Yeah,
away,
like with
45.
traffic, it's about 45 minutes away.
What part of
Yeah.
LA are you in? Are you both in?
So,
Uh,
so I'm more in the north area and
yeah,
she's
I'm
more of
more
the
on the west side.
southwest. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on the west side.
That's why we're like opposites. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
up here, she's down there. So we gotta go all the way,
Yeah.
45 minutes. But I don't know. One day, like, would you want to live with me again one day, Pony?
Uh,
Oh, did you guys live together when as adults as well?
yeah, we
Back
were
in the day,
roommates
yeah.
for a little bit.
When she moved here, when she moved to LA from Rhode Island.
I love spending time with my sister so much. She's one of my, Amy, cover your ears. Cover your ears.
Fine. Wait,
She's one of, she's, okay. She's one of my favorite people. Okay. Okay, you can you can put it back. Yes.
Earmuffs, earmuffs.
Okay. Yeah, so anyways, yeah, I really enjoyed it, but yeah. But we're siblings. That's all. But we're siblings.
Now, I mean, now you guys are older. She's
Yeah.
married. I don't know your marital status, but
No, I'm not married. Not married.
no, no kids.
No, not married, no kids. There's a dog. I take care of the dog.
Oh, you have a dog?
Yeah. I live with a bunch of roommates and there's a dog. There's a dog here. So
Name
he's
You
my
like to see
dog.
four.
my dog?
Yes, yes.
Oh God, such a cute dog. Yes. Yes.
That's
Oh my
Mimi.
God. Oh my God. Is that a poodle?
Poodle Bichon Frise.
I used to have a Bichon Frise when I was a kid. His name was Snowball.
And I got to name him
Yeah,
for
my
my
sister got to
sister.
name him
Awesome.
because she's
The
she was
bratty older sister.
the more assertive sibling, so she got to name her. I mean, my son, my Bichon Frise.
I got to have my own Cocker Spaniel, and then she got to have a Bichon Frise, but I got
Yeah.
to name both pets.
Lucky you. Look at you, Amy.
My sister is so upset about that.
I'm not upset about it. Like
Not anymore.
I've grown to love it. I've grown to love it. It's fine.
Snowball. That
Mhm.
was a unique name that a kid named a dog.
It's
Snowball.
fine.
I
For a
like
kid,
it.
for a kid,
Cool
it's
name.
unique. Yeah.
Yeah.
For a kid, it's unique.
I was so proud of myself. I was like, you look like a snowball when you run. Snowball. I thought it was so creative. And the
Mhm.
writer was born. Ever since then, I was like,
I think
I should
that
write
Amy,
stories.
actually, when you were a kid, when you won the Young Author Award,
Mhm.
it was about dogs.
Yeah, it was
You wrote
about
about
Daisy.
a dog named Daisy, a Cocker Spaniel named Daisy, and then you manifested it as an older child, and you got a Cocker Spaniel named Daisy.
So, Scylla, do you want to know what the book was about that I won the award
What
for?
was it even
Yeah,
about?
yeah.
Okay.
Please do tell now. Curious
Okay.
minds want to know.
So, imagine this pet store, and the little girl comes in, and then the pet store gets robbed. And these robbers, they have a gun, and they're like, give us all your money and the animals. And then the Cocker Spaniel comes in and shields the gun. And then,
Without laughing.
and then,
No, I completely forgot about this. I completely
it stopped the
you have
robbery.
to
It was the dog that stopped the pet
I'm
store
laughing. You
robbery.
have to understand because my sister wrote this when she was like 7 years old.
Really?
Or I think it
Yeah.
was like 9 or 8.
No,
I was
9.
like, yeah, I
That's
think it was
so
9.
violent. That
I
is
know.
so violent.
I know I drew a gun and everything, and I won an award. I don't know.
Wow.
This is when I was younger.
7 years old. That's
That's
remarkable.
adorable. That's really
And
cute.
and the dog stopped the robbery, and
That's really cute.
the girl said, I am adopting you, Daisy. And then they had a good life together, and then that was the
The
book.
end.
And I
Nice.
can't believe I won. I still to this day,
No,
I'm
that's a
just like,
very impressive story for your age.
and I
That's
illustrated
very
it
impressive.
too. I
Yeah, you
wrote it,
did.
illustrated
Mhm.
everything. I used to be a better artist than my sister. We were
I
both in the gifted arts
Amy, I
program.
think that after you felt like I surpassed you, you were like, I don't want to do this anymore. Humph. She's still a good
Yeah.
artist, FYI. I don't know why you felt so competitive. Like
I don't know why you felt competitive. Oh, sister
I
rivalry.
you shouldn't. She's a good artist. She's still to this day, she's a good artist. And you should still keep doing art.
I help here and there. I still help whenever like I can do
Mhm.
flat colors,
Yeah, you can do that.
shading and
Yeah.
digital art. So my sister's specialty is all digital art and charcoals. She likes traditional paint as
Hey,
well,
yeah.
acrylics and
Mhm.
everything, but overall you like you the Wacom tablet, and she's really good with anything like beautiful woman is Pwney's specialty.
Oh yeah, I prefer pinup and hot girls. I just for fun, I'm doing like a hot girl sticker series because it's fun.
Ooh, her
People like
merch is
looking at hot
really,
girls.
oh, she has such beautiful merch. She has like this bunny girl,
Um,
and it's really it's yeah, it's a little risque, but it's been very popular, especially with
teenage
high
boys.
yeah, I don't
I wonder
Yeah.
why. I wonder why that's
I wonder
popular.
why. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
It's beautiful
Mm,
though. It's beautiful
thanks.
art. I gotta
Thanks.
share it with you
Oh
next
geez.
time.
Oh no no no.
Yeah.
No, Sulo, I don't ever want you to look at my art ever. Any of it.
So I was like, what?
I
Pwney?
already have looked at your art.
Oh no. Oh no.
It's
Well,
beautiful.
the
You're
comic book that she
talented.
gave me. I mean, that's your art. But
Yeah.
Which comic was it?
hold on, I'll grab it real quick. I have it right here.
Oh, I think you helped with the character design for that though. I think it
Mhm.
was, yeah, it was
Oh,
mainly
that one.
it was
I
Hammond's
just helped the character design. So like I can't claim all of the art in there.
entire thing, yeah. But it was a team, it's a strong team. So, but Pwney, you're part of it. You're part of it in
Thanks.
heart.
Yeah,
So, but
thanks.
yeah, but that one for Magical Guys, Hammond's, really great artists. So, but
I
Pwney's great too.
love that. Thank you.
I
Love
can't
the
I do want
color
to check
cover
out your
art.
art if you don't mind.
Yeah, share the bunny girl.
Oh,
Pwney,
geez.
please
Oh
share the bunny
no, I feel
girl,
so
please.
self-conscious.
Okay, hold
No,
on.
don't. Please
Okay,
don't. Please don't.
I'm gonna
I
share the
get that
bunny
way
girl.
sometimes about my own music, but I still put it out in the world. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Okay. Oh no, Amy, not the bunny girl. Oh my
Why?
God. Okay, fine. Fine.
Okay, I'm gonna
Okay, go ahead,
find
I
the
guess.
beautiful bunny girl.
Yeah, this was just for fun. I had no intentions about it. It was just like I just did it for fun.
And then became popular merch. Like sometimes
Amongst
that's what happens
amongst teenage boys.
amongst teenagers.
Yeah.
Let me take a screenshot of this actually and then
Mm.
share it. Um,
I
We're
can
not
do
we're not going to
better.
share it on the podcast.
No. No. Oh, jeez. It's a secret. It's
Well,
just
we
between
won't
us
screen
three.
share that.
okay, there you are.
Oh,
There it is.
you shared it in the meeting. Okay.
In the chat, yeah. I like Zoom.
Oh,
I use it a lot for
that.
work.
I can
Yeah.
see that. Oh, here, there it goes.
Yeah.
It's popular merch. So
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Hope I didn't just
nice.
share that on the podcast.
Oh no, you didn't. Don't worry, you didn't share in the podcast.
Just making
Unless,
sure. Just make sure.
yeah.
I want to respect her, your lovely sister's wishes.
Oh, thanks.
Lovely and beautiful. I
Oh,
might say.
thank you. Thank you. Um,
See, Pony, don't worry. See, and then we'll share some stickers with you next time. So,
I have a bunch of stickers. It's just I have a art Patreon and I'll usually do like some pinup art and then
and
like an
streamer.
extra spicy version on Patreon because I don't know, it's fun. It's a fun little thing.
She does live art sessions too on her stream as well.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I'm a Twitch streamer.
So let's
That's what
talk
I
a little bit
do.
about that. Okay.
Yeah.
So, how did you get into that?
Twitch streaming. Oh, guess whose fault it was? Guess whose influence? Guess. Yeah, that one. Yes. Yes, that one. Yeah, my sister, she wanted to do something fun together and she was just like, "Hey, let's play games for the memories and just do something fun and have these videos so we can look back in 10 years and remember how much fun we had together." And she made a Twitch channel and then we got a viewer and then we got a couple more viewers and then we just kept it going from there. Yeah, and like we love games. We love games so much and
What
especially
games do
horror
you
games.
enjoy playing?
Horror horror games. Yes, I love it. Um,
You love horror films too?
oh yes, I do. I love it.
Awesome. That is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Um,
I was gonna say that it started off as fun and then now it became Pony's like
yeah,
full-time
I'm a full-time
work.
streamer. This
Yeah.
is what I do.
For a
And she's
living?
for
Yeah.
a living and
Really?
she's now a Capcom ambassador
Yeah,
too.
they
Really?
Mhm.
just accepted me as a Capcom creator. So thank you so much, Capcom. I really appreciate that.
So
Shout out to
Especially
remember,
Capcom.
I know, thanks, Capcom.
games like
Uh
Resident Evil, Street
We've
Fighter,
me and Amy,
purchase from Pony.
thank you. I do have a storefront, but like me and Amy, we've been playing horror games since we were old enough to like hold a controller. Resident Evil, the first one, that's like probably me and Amy's like first horror game. Great memories, fantastic memories.
Also, any time that you purchase Capcom games from Pony Storefront, a part of it goes to St. Jude Children's Research
Yeah,
Hospital
yes.
as well.
yeah, St. Jude, it's probably my favorite charity, and a cut does go to them. So that is something
Yeah,
to
so
consider.
it's a good cause. It's not only are you supporting a streamer, you're supporting an awesome charity, and you get to play video games that you are about to buy
Hmm.
anyway.
Hmm.
So just buy it from Pony's storefront instead. Here I am advertising it. I'm
Thanks,
like,
Amy. Thank you.
Yeah, and we'll have whatever links to follow you guys, shareable in the episode, biography for you guys.
Thank
So
you.
yeah, so feel free to send me whatever links you want to share. If people do want to follow you guys, how can they follow you guys?
oh, they can find me on Instagram, my full name, Amy Linsamouth, AMYLINSAMOUTH, which I probably should
Um,
share on this podcast. Hold on, let me share that right now.
yeah, I'll share
Amy
mine too.
Linsamouth, yeah.
Yeah, and
So
anywhere
all
else,
one
Amy?
word.
Amy
Uh,
also streams, not as much, but she still streams every now and then.
I think that I wanted to talk about parasocial relationships as well, and I think that's
Parasocial, what
interesting.
does that even mean?
Parasocial relationships are the relationships you develop as someone that's in front of the camera and then or as an entertainer and then
Oh,
people consuming your work and then the relationship that you develop with them, like someone that's like either a supporter of your work, things like that. Singers have like singers, entertainment professionals, they have it, streamers have it. It's just, to me it's interesting, just these relationships that we develop as people and as consumers, and it happens to everyone. So well, almost everyone that's not out in the middle of nowhere and that don't have internet or a phone or anything. But that's what a parasocial relationship is. And then how much you give yourself as a content creator to supporters and things like that. And I just thought, because Pwney is a full-time streamer, I just thought that's something that's really interesting. Of not only is it's not as easy as she makes it seem, like, hey, we got these sponsorship deals and things like that.
oh,
Like
there's a
she
lot of
gives so
like
much,
work.
yeah, there's a lot of work that
Yeah.
to become a content creator to that
Hmm.
extreme. It's just so much that she does. But that, yeah, I wanted to add a little tidbit. But yeah, you can find Pwney on Twitch.
Yeah, it does go both ways. Like I do become very close to my viewers. Like I spend so much time with them and they spend so much time with me. It does go both ways. Uh and
That's great that you're so interactive.
That's
While
the
you're
beauty of Twitch. That's the beauty of live streaming.
the fans called streamers. Is that how you categorize them?
Uh what do I
Viewers.
Subscribers
viewers? Chat. I
or
usually
viewers
say
or
chat, my viewers, or I just call them chat.
so do you see your actual viewers like
No.
no?
If they want to
Um
show their face, I'll
Do they have
and
that
they'll
option if
share
they
it
want?
in the Discord. Like we have um uh, a Twitch Discord, and like they can share what they look like in there. They can do that.
yeah, there's Pwney hosts movie nights and things
Yeah.
just to create a
I'll host
community.
group meditation.
Yeah, online
Some of them like
meditation.
that. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
I
beauty
really
of
enjoy it.
technology. We get to be close to folks in other states
Hmm.
and just like Ohio, and just everyone lives everywhere, like Pennsylvania, things like that. And then here we are in LA, and then we still get to feel like as close as we are talking to each other and them all the way across the country. So that's what technology is like now. So it's an intimate version of YouTube, and I feel like that's what Twitch is. But the platform is
Hmm.
changing, like a lot of these social platforms. So they may be not as reliable to content creators as they were before. But hopefully things are changing for the better, and we're always going to hope for that. But I give props to Pwney that she does this full time, and she's an illustrator full time. She streams she does the combo of both. So and I do enjoy her art streams.
Thanks,
Like
Amy.
to me that's very relaxing.
Hmm.
Some people do fall asleep to Pwney. Like yeah.
I'll try
So
not to get offended.
no, like
People
because
falling asleep on
because
me.
you do stream late at night, and then sometimes it's very relaxing enough where they want to fall asleep to your
You got that
voice.
in a good way. I got where
Mhm.
you're going with that. Not that you're
Yeah.
born.
Yeah, you're
Good.
just soothing.
Better not
It's
be.
That you're that relaxing, you have that kind of
Thank
soothing
you.
energy. And
Thanks,
I
guys.
definitely get that vibe about you, and I love the character differences between both you and Amy. I think it's amazing, and the synergy that you guys have, and the bond that you guys have as sisters and collaborators. I think that's absolutely amazing. And I've never met siblings that work on art projects together like this. This is definitely a first. I met sisters in a band before. Actually, I met a whole band full of three sisters, which I thought was pretty interesting ones. Yeah. But anyways, I think what you guys are doing is great, and I wish there were more people out there in the world like you. I mean, there definitely is, but I mean, the world would definitely be a brighter and more beautiful place if there was more positivity put into it. There was a lot of turmoil and chaos that happened during the pandemic, and I'm glad that now we can kind of put a lot of that in our rear view mirror, but there's still a lot of problems to address out in the world, and all we can do one day at a time is just try to inspire and motivate and heal people with our creative forces of what we do, and hopefully watch the future generation go off and do the same thing. One thing that kind of scares me a little bit is technology. There's a lot of positive benefit that you can gain out of it, but there's a lot of desensitization, a lot of negativity that can go into it. I mean, some of these, I used to do a lot of multiplayer, and some of these conversations, like on Call of Duty, that I've had, were
toxic. Ooh.
Toxic.
horrifying. Little kids.
It is the most toxic like game that there is. Sorry, go ahead. I cut you off.
GTA. What about
That's why I
GTA?
stopped. I couldn't do it anymore. I
Yeah.
stopped multiplaying completely. I think the last game I even played multiplayer on is like 10 years ago. It was Tron. What was it? Tron Legacy, or
Tron Legacy. Oh,
whatever the video game was. I'm a big Tron fan. Actually, and that was actually the last game I multiplayed on. Because there wasn't a whole lot of banter back and forth. But
No, there's a lot of
I do like the
banter.
game from time to time. I'm an Xbox person. I know
nice.
some people are.
Xbox gang. Me and Amy were also Xbox. Let's give me your gamer tag.
Yes.
Let me rope you back into games.
Sulu was like, no, I'm gonna wait from it for me.
I'm down. I'm down. I'm
Okay.
down. I love to
Okay.
connect more, and like learn more about each other, and hopefully if I'm ever in the LA area, we can all link up and
That'd be nice.
hang out. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. Yeah. But I'd have to honestly go back and look at my gamer tag, because it's been so long since I played a video game.
Oh,
I think
you
the
just
last.
reeled them in.
But yeah, I love
Come
video games.
back.
I grew up in arcades. In fact, I own a Mortal Kombat 4 arcade machine.
Get the fuck out of here. Sorry, the first
Very hard
F-bomb.
one to get.
I was trying so hard not to swear, but like that's freaking awesome. It
Tasha
sounds
says free
expensive.
format. Yeah, but yeah, I had it at my recording studio last, and then when I closed that, I had to shelve it at my buddy's house because my place is too small to house it in, because I live in a small condo, and I couldn't keep it like locked up in storage because the parts will go bad if you don't fire up the machine and use it from time to time. So
Oh, okay. Is that the excuse you give yourself to play the games? Okay, I'm
Exactly. I loved it. Like when I had it, like I mastered that game. Sub-Zero was my character.
Oh, that's my main. Sub-Zero is my
Get out of
main.
that. And when I originally bought it when arcades started dying off in the 2000s, I bought it for $317, and it came with new joysticks and everything. And
Wow.
I ran a club, and they had an opening slot for a video game. That's where I took advantage of that, because I saw that the arcades in San Diego, there was one like franchise called, I think it was Tilt Arcade, and they were going out of business and putting prices on all their games. And the year before, that machine was like $700, and then all of a sudden it's like 300, and I'm like, wow, they just really want to get rid of all these machines. They must be going out of business or something. And I pulled the trigger on it, and I made so much money. And it was only a quarter. I didn't want to rip people off either, but I would sit there just on nights that I get bored, just beating the shit out of people with
Wow.
Sub-Zero playing Mortal Kombat, and them not even realizing that, I'm the owner of this machine. And like it was an awesome time. And then when I had set it on free play and had it fully refurbished and restored by some gamer, like total gamer nerds, they had these two guys that were like in their 30s. They had turned one of their rooms in a 3-bedroom condo into an arcade, and Mortal Kombat 4 was their favorite video game. And they had somehow hunted me down, and were trying to get me to sell it to them because it was inoperable. And they had saw it when it started going, the screen went out, started going out a little bit when I had it the tail end of me working at the nightclub that it was at. And I finally figured out who they were, got in contact with them and said, hey, I have it at my recording studio now. If you guys want to come check it out, but I'm not interested in selling it. I want to repair it. These guys came down, like replaced a marquee. I only had to spend like maybe $20 on a part. I couldn't believe it was that cheap. Did all this work, probably spent a good like 2-3 hours fixing it up. And then I go, how much do I owe you? They're like, nothing. I was like, we'll take the old monitor as payment. I was like, what are you talking about? And they're like, oh, we could use that for parts. I was like, they're like, we can't charge for something that we love. Like, we can be making a living doing this, but we just love video games so much. And if you ever do decide to sell this, let me know.
Oh
That's
my
awesome. That's a great
Yes.
story.
Yeah, I thought that was like the coolest thing ever. And it just goes to show you, like, paying it forward, how there's good people out there, and always treat people with respect. Treat people how you want to be treated. You're not always going to get that good energy back, but you know what? You'll at least feel good about yourself by putting it out there.
Yeah, I agree. I think we need more of that mentality too. And it takes a village. I think like we can't do all of this like lifting alone. Like sometimes these dreams that we all chase, like we think that if we're just like shoveling the dirt by ourselves, we're going to get there and we're going to hit gold. But little do we realize that, hey, you can ask the rest of the town in and they can help you and you can all share that gold together. People forget that all the time. And that's why I like your mentality when it comes to seeing life and achieving your goals. That's the same way I see things. It takes everyone. We all uplift each other. So, and we all bring each other up with us if we happen to go up that ladder. And if we fall down that ladder, who's there to greet you? Who's there to catch you? So that's the way I see it.
That's how I also look at things. It's okay
Mhm.
to ask for help. I had a girlfriend once that told me that it's weak to ask for help from someone, that you have to always, she was raised to always figure things out on her own, and I
That's
was like,
sad.
yeah, she came from a broken home.
Mm.
Yeah.
And like, I had mentioned earlier when Amy and I were talking before this, like some couples, you just don't really know each other as much as you think you do. And like, I thought I did. And then, I started learning more and more about this person, and then, turning into a toxic relationship. You know what I mean? You don't truly understand how someone feels unless you're that person. You know what I mean? I'm a big fan of like therapy and helping people out and healing, but I am the type of healer that is not going to sit there and force things down your throat and tell you how to feel. I'm going to find a way for you to synergize on your own and find a creative force or outlet that can help you heal, and that's what I love about the arts. And maybe one day I'll open up a facility or a center or something along those lines, or a nonprofit. Who knows? But I'll always be an advocate for the arts. And I love to use this show as a flagship, to really promote that and let other people share their story. Because I always emphasize, and the motto of this show is everyone has a story to tell.
Thank you, Sulo. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
food for the soul. This
Mhm.
is what feeds us through life. And sometimes people think that what we do isn't as important as what engineers or doctors or And I can see what they're trying to say, and I can see what they mean by that. And if I can see they're well intentioned by what we do is not as important. But they do realize that after a hard day, what do they use or what do they look at?
They
It's
watch
usually
TV,
us.
they read a book, they turn on a Twitch stream, they um yeah, it's they look towards the creatives, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Because even like without it, like what's life? What are we living? What was it for? Like we're here to live our life connecting with our family, our friends, everyone, and then our journey it's gonna end somewhere. So whether it's sooner rather than later, but we want to make sure whatever we contribute to it, it's impactful for other people, and we want to just bring them to that joy, and the beauty of joy, we want to bring it to them and share it with them. And that's life. Like, life isn't just working to live. Or sorry, did I say that backwards? Yeah, working to live.
Yeah, no, you
It's
said it right.
yeah, there's more to it than that. Even Stanley, there was like this beautiful Stanley quote, and he said that pretty much is essentially what I said earlier, that sometimes we just forget that without art and entertainment, that life isn't as meaningful. So this is his quote, and he said, "I used to be embarrassed because I was just a comic book writer while other people were building bridges or going on to medical careers. And then I began to realize entertainment is one of the most important things in people's lives. Without it, they might go off the deep end. I feel that if you're able to entertain people, you're doing a good thing." And that's what Stanley quoted. So that quote I carry with me too, because this is the master storyteller here in the comic book world, telling you, hey, what you're doing isn't embarrassing at all. Like, what you're doing is actually making people just like achieve that fulfillment, or that little bit of like the little bit of spark in their life that they need to get by. Like, what if they lose all that spark? It's despair, it's hopelessness, it's darkness, and we're helping them from going into that depressive state. I'm not saying it's a cure for depression, but I mean, it's assisting with helping getting out of that dark place, right? So that's why I thought Stanley's quote was beautiful. And I just thought that, what what you're contributing to this podcast and sharing with everyone else, and what we're all what everyone's trying to building here, what everyone's trying to build in San Diego earlier when we met at Comic-Con, like all the other vendors and everything, like how they said it did feel like the old convention again when Hollywood wasn't there, and how it's just from the ground. And all the other vendors are whispering about it. I can hear them there. It's all the hush hush. Hey, this feels different. This convention is not the same as it was before. And they're like, oh yeah, it's WGA, and SAG. They're not here. And then the Hollywood, all the Hollywood folks. Even there's some Hollywood folks there, which is cool and all. But it felt like that, like, this is it. This is the grassroots. Our work is here on the convention floor where all the vendors are, and everyone's not waiting in lines to check out like previews or like actors and panels, which is cool too in itself. But they're bringing it back to the origin of the story itself on the floor, and then everyone's supporting those group of people. And I saw the energy, and I saw the buzz and excitement, and I can kind of relate to that too. I was like, whoa, there's more people here interested in our work. This is so cool. And everyone's like, I'm
The
making so
best
much more.
feeling ever,
Yeah.
like that motivates you to keep going. You know, I always have like this saying, it doesn't matter if there's 5 people in the crowd or 5,000, like I'm gonna, put my full energy into it and try to entertain. And if one person is like moved by my performance or comes up and pays me a compliment, then it was all worth it. Then I can sleep at night, and I love singing because it's such a freeing art form. And now I use a wireless mic because I'm so animated and off stage all the time, and I love to interact with the crowd and crack jokes, and you know I'll make fun of my band members, or they'll make fun of me, or sometimes I'll make fun of myself or tell a quick story. But I just try to, like, I feel like as an entertainer, you're obligated to entertain when you're on that stage. you know. So it's just everyone's got their one thing that they either feel like they were born to do, or sometimes it takes years for them to find it. Some people unfortunately never do. And I always try to motivate and inspire people to find that if they haven't already, you know. And that's what I love about this platform is, you know, I know I've probably emphasized this a couple times already, is it gives them a way to share their story, share what they're doing, you know, and the reasons what, you know, moved them, how they got into their craft, what inspired them, because everyone has a beginning, you know, to their story, you
Yeah.
know. Everyone has their hero that they look up to. I remember watching a music documentary, and Tom Petty was so excited to work with a legendary Carl Perkins, you know, 50s, you know, rock and roll legend. And he said this so simply, yet it was so powerful. He's like, everybody has their hero, you know, and he's like, Carl Perkins is mine. I thought that was amazing, you know, to hear that kind of, you know, humbleness and true side of a amazing iconic artist like Tom Petty say something like that. And you know, it's always kind of stuck with me to this day, you know. So is there anything else that you guys want to talk about?
Uh,
Kind of
I
wrap
think,
things up.
well,
well, I kind of have a question for Amy.
yeah.
Amy, what's next? What's next for you for as far as creative projects?
Oh, well, speaking of our cultural roots, there's something that I can't yet announce, but I'm working with a talented, renowned Lao artist, and I'm
Mm.
co-writing a comic book that is in relation to Lao culture and published under that nonprofit. So I think that it's beautiful to just experience my culture all over again through a different lens. And it's going to be great just going back into that and just having like a Lao book. You know, it's going to be so exciting and just having
I love
just
it.
like, yeah,
Not
just
many people know about our culture or like even our country, and that's so cool. I'm so happy that you're going to be one of the voices of our country.
and
You're going to be sharing
yeah.
the stories. It's
Awesome.
very exciting.
And speaking of voices, I don't know if you
Hmm.
know this, but in middle school and in high school, you know how you have a class superlative where you get to vote amongst your peers, like who is most likely
Uh,
to succeed or most
guess
likely to
guess what
or
Amy
most
was.
versatile. Yeah,
Mhm.
Sulo, guess what I won? I was most quietest. I won most
You're
quietest in middle
kidding me.
school. Yeah,
You're,
in high
yeah.
school.
In high school, and when my sister was in
Oh,
elementary school, middle school, high school, she never talked. She was very shy. She's very like introverted, and she like, um, yeah, she never talked.
this is
And look at her now. Look at her. You
Yeah,
totally
I feel like you're
blossomed,
my
Amy.
co-host over here.
oh, thank you. It
I
just
love it. Yeah, yeah. If
you
I ever
get
need a co-host, you're the first person I'm going to ask.
oh, wow, that's a compliment,
No, it
really.
is.
And
You're a
No,
good
no,
talker, Amy.
well,
um,
both of you guys are.
uh,
Thanks.
Yeah,
both, yeah,
yeah.
this is amazing. And thank you for giving me a voice because, like I said, our childhood, we were just so reserved. It was so hard for us to even speak. Like we would
Yeah.
stutter a lot. We just
Mhm.
didn't have the right phrasing for certain words, and our parents, they pronounce words a certain way that we adapted. Like my mom would say blueberry instead of blueberry. So we would just kind of say certain things
Yeah.
that aren't the correct way, and we just embarrass ourselves sometimes when we spoke. So it just kind of shut us up a little bit. So we were a bit shy, but now we're getting better. And was able to talk in front of a panel of people, and I even made an Asian joke at an Asian representation
Oh
panel.
my God,
So I don't
Amy.
know.
What was the
Did I
Asian
tell
joke?
did I tell you guys? Can I tell you
Uh,
guys Asian? It's an
uh,
icebreaker joke. Okay. Okay, so this is what happened. I
oh,
had to ask
geez.
for permission, by the way. I got permission that I was allowed to tell this joke. Two of the panelists didn't know what my joke was, but I warned them ahead of time. The two other panelists, they knew what the joke was. Okay, this is a joke. Okay, so this is the Asian representation in comics and media panel. And this is my icebreaker. So moderator introduces everybody one by one. Talented person A, talented person B, talented person C. Amy. Hi everyone. I'm Amy. As you know, I made it here all in one piece. So you know I didn't drive here. And then
Amy.
anyone that laughed, I was just like, security. All right, for those that laughed, they're racist, so drag them out.
I
And that
can't
was a joke.
believe you.
I said that joke.
Wow.
I was
Amy,
trying to do
how
an
many
icebreaker.
people laughed? Please.
Only the panelists, because everyone else didn't know they had permission to laugh. I saw their
They were
faces.
kind of hard. Well, yeah,
They're
we're
like,
in a cancel culture. So.
yeah, they're like, are we allowed to laugh? So they looked around. Like I saw a couple of them looking around, and my panelists, like my fellow panelists, at least they laughed. I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, all right, guys. So yeah, that's it for the panel today.
Amy, you are so funny.
I was doing an icebreaker.
Wow,
I wanted
only
to turn a
you.
joke.
I
wanted to
know.
turn this joke on his head, spin it, and just flip it around and just like
Honestly, Amy, I
change
would
it
have
up a
if I
bit.
was sitting in the audience, I would have laughed. I would have
I
laughed.
would have laughed. I probably would have been the only one in the
Thank
audience
you.
laughing along
Yeah.
with
Thank you. Thank you guys. Thank you.
I
I
thought
needed that.
it was terrible, but it was funny.
Thank you. I had some help writing that joke, by the way. I give credit to like all my friends at the convention that I asked. I'm like, guys, what do you think of this joke? And I asked a bunch of them.
Oh my
They're like, yeah,
gosh.
do it.
Amy, do some
Everyone's like,
stand up. Amy, stand up when?
nah, I don't know if I can do stand up because it's
Well,
just
stand-up's
gonna,
hard. Like
it's
I
hard.
have
Yeah.
a friend who's an aspiring stand-up comedian and actor, and he's been doing all the right steps, going to acting school and whatnot, and now he's on an agency, and I've watched him in the year that I've known him really blossom as a stand-up comedian, but I also have watched moments where he'll pick my mind. He's like, you notice where that joke didn't land, and I kind of blanked for a second, like didn't know how to do it. He's like, I've noticed with you just keep the train rolling. I was like, that's because I have a band and I can just easily go into a song if something doesn't work. What you have is the most feared job out of any entertainer. It's just you and a microphone,
You gotta
and
have
if
some thick
something
skin.
isn't funny, it's
Mhm.
crickets, and it's the most awkward feeling ever, and I don't know how you do it.
And hecklers too. So you got to
Oh
think of jokes on the
man,
Hecklers,
spot.
yes,
you gotta be
hecklers.
so good at
Yeah,
improv.
and you know what? The comedian world, I started meeting like his, different comedian friends and people in the circuit. It's just as competitive as everything. A lot of these comedians are complete dicks, and it's just kind of like dog eat dog in a sense. Not all of them, but I mean, some of them I've come across, and like I look at it like this: like we all have that competitive edge in ourselves, but I feel like the people that truly are successful in my eyes, it's not about how many followers you have. It's not about how much money you've made off of doing what you do. It's the content that you're putting out there. It's the energy and the time and the effort that you're putting out there. And that's why I always support the underdogs, the Rocky Balboas in the world. And I've watched in my career, 8 years, I was a concert promoter, bands that I booked blow up and become famous. I think one of the biggest claims to my fame was I was the first promoter in San Diego to book the band Evanescence.
No
And,
way.
yeah, and I knew
No
Amy Lee
way.
when I saw her would be a star. When I heard her sing, I was like, first of all, I thought she wasn't even with the band. She just said, I'm with Evanescence. I didn't think she was in the band. Then when I saw her get on stage, I was completely blown away, and I was just like, "Oh my god!" And I'm like,
Amy,
and now when I
that's
tell this story, I was like, I can honestly say I hit on Amy Lee.
oh my god.
It was gorgeous, and I was just like in. I was probably like 23, 24 back then. It was like 2003 or 4. And it is one of the most legendary stories in my time there. And my buddy, every time I see him, he brings it up and has the pictures on his phone because he was there and
That's
helped me
awesome.
promote the show. And yeah, but yeah, I have so many stories. That's why I'm working on writing a book, and I'm going to put a lot of them into that book. Yeah.
I'll be in line to purchase your book and your book signing. I'll be first in line. So, and if you need to set up chairs for your book signing and the reading, I'll be there too. I'll go to San Diego, be like,
People ask me like, why are you calling it the dating guide for musicians? And I was like, well, because the
that's
struggle is
catchy.
real. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I had maybe 4 significant relationships in my life. And originally, when I started writing the book, I was in my last relationship that I thought was going to end with a fairy tale ending. But of course, just another chapter to keep going.
No.
Oh,
And I've been single for 2 years, and I've done the Hinge and Bumble and this and that. And now Facebook has a dating feature, and I'm
Oh,
putting that all in the
geez.
book too. And it's just ridiculous. Like, it's so hard to meet people like organically. And then a lot of the people that I do come across that I'm like, oh man, this person's energy is beautiful, is either married or in a relationship or just started seeing somebody. So it can be difficult.
I'm sorry. That's so interesting
yeah.
that the first thing that you notice about someone is their energy.
First
It's
I
like,
thing.
like it.
yeah, it's not their appearance. It's not what they're wearing. It's not their haircut. It's their energy.
Beauty is their energy for
Yeah.
me,
Hmm.
like, and that's just how I was raised, and that's just how I am. It's just second nature, that's how my mom is, and I love my mother for that. And I, very thankful now to especially be under her guidance because she owns the medical center that I work at. And I'm following her footsteps, so I know she's proud of me by doing that. So
Beautiful.
yeah, she's
Oh,
always supportive of my creativity, and still to this day tells me to, when I'm frustrated or something, to do what I do best and to write. And she's given me so many journals over the years, and I love that she's always pushing me in the right direction, and that's what a good mother does. And not everyone is fortunate enough to have that in their life, you know. So hearing your mother's story at the beginning of this podcast was moving, and it made me really, like, just feel I don't know, just I almost could kind of relate
yeah.
because my mother's an immigrant too, in a sense.
Yeah. And we
you
do,
know
yeah, we want to do
I
right by
mean, my
them,
mother didn't have to go
Hmm.
through that kind of struggle. Finland's like the most peaceful country in the world. But you know what, the
Yeah.
fact that she was able to leave and have the both of you, and seeing how talented and vibrant and beautiful and happy you guys are, it just
Thank
makes
you.
me happy. That is the
Oh,
fairy tale ending, to a story.
we hope to
And
do her proud. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Mom's been
you
through
guys
so
already are.
much.
I'm proud of you guys, and I just met
Thank
you
you.
guys, you know
Thank you,
Thanks.
Sulo.
but the both of you have amazing energy, and it's such a pleasure to have you guys on the show. Like, it really is. And I wish we could sit here and talk forever, but
He's like,
Maybe
we all
another time.
yeah,
in
another
another
time.
life.
We
Yeah.
People do have short attention spans.
Hmm.
I look at the numbers on here. Not everyone can sit through, like, an hour or two of an episode, but a lot of people do. A lot of my friends do. A lot of my supporters do, and I hope they watch this to the end. And before we wrap this up, one thing I always do with my guests is I have them share uh, like a symbolic message that they want to put out there, like a motto they live by or a motivational tip. Whether someone wants to become an artist like you guys and live out that dream, like, what would you tell those people?
I would tell them not to be ashamed of their choices, especially when you have the outsiders looking in. It just seems easy to judge every step of the way, everything that you're doing. And even if you can't get to where you are right away, the fact that you're pursuing it, the fact that you're trying, that's work in itself. That's tough to do in itself. Making that decision, going out there every day, putting in the effort, putting in the work, And that's something that I applaud. And then I see and I appreciate for everyone there trying just to live that good life and fight that good fight. I see you. You can do it. So you are noticed. And that's what I want to leave them with from me.
Are you funny?
How am I supposed to follow up with that, Amy?
I
Okay,
know.
like, geez. Okay, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Um, Fuck the haters and do what you gotta do.
Yes, I love it.
Okay, okay.
Very eloquently put.
Thank you.
But blunt and straight to the point. I love it. There's a lot of truth in that simple statement.
Cut
All
them with
right.
your words. Yes.
So, any last words for our viewers? Anything else you guys want to say
Holy
or
moly.
plug?
I feel like I'm about to die. Any
What?
last words?
Any last words?
Any last
I would like to say, thank you, Sulo. It was such a pleasure to meet you. You are a very unique human, and it was a pleasure to get to know you. So thanks.
Likewise, yeah, yeah, and this won't be the last time. I'm sure we'll get to know more of each other
That
in
would
the
be nice.
future. You know,
Thank
everyone.
you.
I look at life like this: like people are brought into our lives for a reason, and there's always a 6 degree of separation. And in fact, Amy, before we wrap it up, I realized, you know how like on Instagram it'll show you comments if you're friends with somebody that'll comment on someone else's page. My friend Michelle Quillen is a good friend of
No
mine.
way. No way. You know
Yeah.
Michelle?
And I started talking to her about you guys, and she's like, "Oh my God, I can't wait, to check out this episode." So shout out to Michelle. She's
Hi,
gonna be stoked when she
Michelle.
hears this.
Michelle, we missed you.
Yeah,
She's
Hugs.
amazing. I love Michelle.
She's
we
so
adore her.
beautiful. She's such a model. Oh,
She's
I like her
gorgeous inside and
aesthetic.
out.
Yes. Oh, those looks, the decade-old looks. Oh, so beautiful. Oh my gosh. Like just like those
Small
magazine
world.
vintage world. Oh, she's so talented as a
hmm
copywriter for games as well. Like all the cool Monopoly games. She did the Dexter game, everything. So she's super Michelle, Michelle has her heart. For
Oh,
real.
and she's a talented baker because we get to try some of her baking.
Yes, she
That's
made
what
Yeah.
she told me. That's
Yeah,
originally
we
how
had
she met you guys, right?
a zuc
Someone told her to send you guys some baked goods.
hmm
Mhm.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, she was there
No?
visiting our booth. I
That's so
remember.
funny.
Yeah.
I did not know
Oh,
this.
everyone's brought into someone's life for a reason. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's
Whether it's to
amazing.
drift through and simply just be a quick part or a long part. And Michelle is definitely I don't always get to see her. She's kind of an introvert in that sense. I'm very extroverted and I love going out. But when I do get to talk to her or see her, it's a special thing for me in my life. And there's a lot of people that are like that, and that's the beauty part about the day and age that we're in now. We don't have to just pick up a phone. We can text someone. We can video message them now. Feel like we're there with that person. We can tune in, watch people like you, Pwney, streaming.
Yeah.
Feel like we were there with that person. Connect. There's many ways to connect with people. Yeah. So
Fall asleep to
yeah.
Pwney.
Yeah, fall asleep to me on
Mhm.
Wednesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah. We'll be posting all the links in the bio for this episode. Real quick. Any like links you guys want to share again? How to
Um,
follow you guys?
yeah, I can give them to you later.
Okay, sure. Okay. I'll
Find
make sure to
me.
post that. What were you gonna say, Amy? Sorry.
I was gonna say, you can get Magical Guys, Jackie the Magical Guys comic book at magicalguys.com. So easy website. So my comic book, but yeah, that's the link. That's the main link. Just my comic book. Please help me. I'm a writer. You know how it is for writers.
It's tough out there.
Definitely check out her comic book, their comic book, and their work. And I'll be posting all kinds of links. And thank you again for tuning in to another episode of the King's Couch. I'm your host with the most, Sulo, and this is Amy and Pwney. And it's time to say goodbye.
Bye. Thank you, Sulo. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Good night.